Good day, everyone. I am Jeff Pedida, and I will be your Master of Ceremony for today's event. Welcome to the Festival of Pedagogy and Applied Linguistics with the theme Celebrating Learning as a Journey, Language as a Destination, and Linguistics as a Vehicle. We are here to witness the presentation of the selected students enrolled in English 208 to demonstrate and conduct a lecture on their chosen topics associated in applied linguistics. Before we begin, let us call first Ms. Yoli Bulusan for the opening prayer.
Let's bow our head and feel the presence of the Lord Almighty. Lord Almighty, equip us to teach with wisdom and kind, as we help to shape the minds and future of our students. Enable us to be your instrument to show how great you are, as we help to shape the morality in their minds, their souls, and hearts. Empower us to teach with love, as we help to shape the world and produce a good citizen that has a big heart for the humanity and for the country. Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Yoli, for prayer. Now, let us call on Ms. Maria Manolet Juan for the welcome message.
Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. By Benjamin Franklin. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. We are so glad and appreciate your presence for today's event, the Festival of Pedagogy and Applied Linguistics, with the theme Celebrating Learning as a Journey, Language as a Destination, and Linguistics as a Vehicle. Today won't be possible if it weren't for our combined efforts. And for that, my dear classmates and our beloved Professor Dr. Jennifer L. Edroso, give ourselves a tap. And of course, to our audiences and distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you and express my gratitude for joining us despite of your busy schedule. I'm excited and at the same time nervous to showcase our hidden talents and demo skills that we will be able to use to our dream profession to become an effective educator. Again, thank you to everyone for being here to witness this occasion. Let the festival begins.
Thank you, Ms. Juan, for the heartfelt message. And now, let us call on Ms. Karen Joy Sigosho for the inspirational message.
To our talented and intelligent professor, ma'am, MA English students, ladies and gentlemen, good day. I am glad that we gather virtually, and at the same time, I am very pleased to speak to you today. When I read the message in our group chat regarding the schedule of our demo teaching, I was surprised, for I am going to deliver a speech in front of my dear classmates. And from that moment, I felt nervous because I know that I don't have enough time to finish my speech. And thankfully, the schedule of our demo teaching was postponed, and so I was able to write this speech for all of us. This time, I am eager to impart some words of encouragement that the Almighty wanted me to share with you. First, learning is a journey. Learning is the process of acquiring new understanding, values, and attitudes. It is also refers to a knowledge or skill acquired by instruction or study. Indeed, learning is necessary to human being, especially to teachers like us. Teachers have a great contribution to the development of our country through teaching the hope of a nation, the youth. Yes, we are also learners. So, we should never stop learning, for we are the leaders who nurture young minds. Henceforth, we should keep in mind that we learn to teach new knowledge that is necessary for the progress of our country. Don't give up, no matter how hard it is, no matter how hard to teach. Always remember, it is a heavenly call and is a great journey to a better world. Secondly, language is a destination. As we have learned in our social linguistics, language has a great role in our society. It is an important tool for communication. Therefore, English teachers must teach the learners a good quality of education regarding the English language. Language teachers like us also help the learners to improve their listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills, for these are significant for an excellent communication. Thus, language teachers should possess a great skill in teaching English language. We must be competent and passionate in sharing knowledge about language. We have to wear humility and patience as well. Moreover, we must encourage our learners to learn good communication skills. By that, we lead the learners to the right path, and that is the right destination. Hence, let's teach our learners wholeheartedly. Remember, good communication starts with us, and good communicators are the future of a country. Lastly, linguistics is a vehicle. Linguistics is the study of language. Through learning linguistics, we familiarize with the speech sounds, grammatical structures, and get to know more about the languages of the world. Yes, we know that language is a means of communication. Communicating to other people is a way to improve ourselves, not only in the English language, but also to be a better citizen of our community. It is also a way to express our thoughts in the society and to understand different culture of the countries in the world. So, as language learners and of course a teacher, we should study the target language deeply for us to be able to communicate with the learners and to the world as well. Henceforth, linguistics plays an important role to everybody, for it serves as the vehicle towards the progress of a nation and its people. To young educators like me, I encourage you to continue to love our profession, although we are in the midst of a pandemic. Always remember that this is not only a paid occupation, but it is a noble profession that no one could steal it from us. So, don't quit. As teachers of this modern world, Be competent and passionate. We have to learn more, teach, and be the light to learners' journey. Be a vehicle to the youth in reaching their bright destination. Serve our country as we serve the Almighty God. Live, love, learn, and teach. That is our purpose.
Now let us call on Miss Clarice Doroni for the presentation of the criteria for judging.
Good morning, everyone. I am here to present you the criteria for grading each demo. For the rating key, 1 for unsatisfactory, 2 fair, 3 satisfactory, 4 very good, and 5 for excellence. Each attributes and performance, the evaluator will give rating and comment if any. That would be all. Thank you.
Okay, before we begin the actual lecture or the actual demonstration, let's have first an intermission number by Mr. Daryl Saet.
Pare, mahal mo raw ako. Yan ang sabi mo raw nang minsan ay malasing tayo. Hindi kita sinisisi, galit ay wala ko. Pare, pag-usapan natin to. Pare, ako raw ang iyong gusto. Yan ba ang linaw sa aking sasabihin mo? Hindi ako iiwas, di lalayo sa'yo. Pare, pag-usapan natin to. Wala namang mababago sa pagtingin ko sa iyo, pero kaibigan lang ang pwede kong ialay sa iyo. At kung higit pa ron, pasensya na, di ko makakaya. Pare, kaibigan lang kita. Pare, nandito lang ako. Nangangako
Thank you, Mr. Daryl, for the wonderful intermission number. Now, let us call on the first demonstrator, Mr. Ryan Carl Ibarra.
Good morning, class. Before we start our class this morning, so may I request that you stand and let us feel the presence of the Lord. Yes, we go. Okay, stand up. Okay, so let us pray.
Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Our Father, who art in heaven, holy be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. Do not bring us to the test, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
You may take your seat. So, this morning, so we'll be discussing about our new topic. So this topic will give you, it's a beneficial for you to become a confident speaker and to become a proficient communicator. Okay. But before that, for you to have a background and an overview of our lesson, let's have a first activity. Okay? So this activity is it has a connection on this lesson. So I'll be going to show you two words. They do have the same in spelling but different in presentation. So you will gonna choose letter A or B. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
First. So I'll be going to read the first sentence. To introduce someone. Is it present or present?
Present.
Okay, anyone? Yes. Katrina.
Present.
The letter is letter. Okay, so let us check if you are correct. Okay, very good. It is letter B. Okay, everybody. Present.
Present.
Okay. So the stress on the pronunciations, we need to emphasize on the second syllable. Set. Present. Any question?
None, sir.
Any question, class? Next. Okay. Who wants to read number 2? And anyone soon? Yes, Nicole?
The way that people behave in a particular place. A. Conduct. B. Conduct.
Okay, so thank you. The way that people behave in a particular place, is it conduct or conduct? So what is your answer?
Letter B.
Okay, so let us see if you are correct. The correct answer is letter B. It's conduct. While the other one, letter A, it is conduct, but is considered as a verb. Means to say you are conducting your research, you are asking for questions. So that is the difference between conduct and conduct. Next. Anyone? So number 3. Yes, Raven. Kindly.
Write something.
Okay, to write something. Is it? Okay. Who wants to read? Who wants to try to read that one? Anyone? Yes. Baby Jane.
Record.
Okay, very good. Is it record or record? So what is your answer? It's letter? Okay, let's check if I'm correct. The correct answer is okay. Very good. It's letter A. It's record. That is function as a verb. Record means when you are recording for something. Just like for example, recording of a song or sound or your voice. While the other one, it is record. It is a first stress that is considered as a document. Record. So for example, your record in school with your pertinent papers or documents, the card. So, any question? Okay. Based on the given definition and word. Okay. So, what do you think? What's our lesson for this morning? Anyone? Okay, yes, Nicole.
Word stress.
Okay, very good. That is word stress. So, are you aware of word stress? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So many speakers, students, or individuals commit mistakes on communications. Why? Because they are not aware of the stress, the proper stress. The other term for stress is pronunciation, or the proper diction or accent of a particular word. For us to control miscommunication, you should be able to know the difference between the two words on how they use in a sentence. Okay. So our lesson for is about words first. What's words first? Anyone? Okay, so what do we have here? Definition. Okay, anyone wants to read? Yes, Hannah.
Word stress, which means pronouncing one syllable of a multi-syllabic word with a greater emphasis or stress than the other syllables in the word.
Okay, so thank you. So that is stress. It is more on pronouncing one syllable into multi-syllabic words with greater emphasis. So as a communicator speaker, you should emphasize yourself by expressing the word itself. You need to speak clearly, yes, and in a natural way. For you to be for the receiver to receive the message for you to have a good communication rather. Okay. You need to stress the word itself in accordance with your definition. Okay. So, but for that, we do have here the syllable because you cannot really identify the stress of a word without knowing what is syllable. So again, what is syllable? I think this is not new for you because I know this is a topic. It will start with elementary up to high school, including senior high school, college. Okay, so what is syllable? Syllable is a part of word that contains a single vowel sound and that pronounced as a unit. Okay, example of syllable. It's like, for example, the word communication. Communication. So, it is said a while ago that stress consisting of what? Multi-syllabic syllables. Okay, in communication, it consists of what? How many syllables?
5.
Okay. So what is the first one?
Communication.
Okay. So communication. So that is the purpose of that. You need to stress on the second syllable. Then cation. You need to start at the low level, pitch level of your voice. Communication. So this is according to our lesson later. I'll be going to discuss to you. So we do have the rules. Next, the word photogenic. So how many syllables?
4.
Okay. Photogenic. So do you think, so where is the stress? Okay, so the stress is on the J. Photogenic. J. So I will discuss to you. That is according to the rules later. Okay, any question? For you to master, for you to be a good communication or to be a competent speaker, to be a communicator, we do have here some rules to consider in word stress. First rule. Okay, anyone wants to read? Yes, Laika. Okay, kindly Okay, this is the first rule. So we are now jumping into the first rule.
Most of the nouns and adjectives with two syllables are in the first syllable.
Okay, so thank you. So most of the nouns and adjectives with two syllables are in the first syllables. Okay, let us go back. So nouns and adjective. So what is noun again? It is a name of what? Person, things, animals, places, or events. Then an adjective is what? What is an adjective? Describe a noun. Yes, it is describing a noun or a pronoun. They are considered as descriptive words. It's like, for example, I am handsome. So where's an adjective verb? Handsome. You are beautiful. Beautiful. That's an adjective. Describing a force. Small, tiny, black, white, colors. They are considered as an adjective. Okay, but then, since we are focusing on syllables, stress, so let us read this one. Okay, everybody. Okay, so I will read it first. Progress, present, increase, record, jealous. Okay, everybody?
Progress, present, increase, record, jealous.
Come again.
Progress,
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 present.
present, increase, record, jealous.
Okay, so that is the first rule. So most nouns and adjectives with two syllables, this stress is on the what? First syllable. So the first, the progress, that is considered as a noun. Progress. Prog, first syllable, ending, rest, that is second syllable. Okay, any question? Okay, next rule. Okay, kindly read Miss Patutina.
With most birds with two syllables, the stress is on the last syllable.
Okay, so thank you, Miss Patutina. Okay, with most verbs with two syllables, the stress is on the last syllable. Okay, again, let us recap. Let us have the review on that parts of speech. So what is verb again? Okay, we have action. Very good. Okay, most verbs with two syllables. They stress on the what? Second syllable. So for example, present. Everybody.
Present,
Increase.
increase,
Admit.
admit,
Admit.
admit,
Begin.
begin,
Decide.
decide.
So that is simple as A. Most verbs ends with the stress is on the second syllable. So any questions? Okay, next rule. Okay. Kindly read Miss Maria.
The words ending short, chan, that stress is on the second last syllable.
So can you the words ending with Sean, Shan, the stress on the second last syllable. Okay. Sean, everybody, Sean,
Sean,
Shan.
Shan.
Okay. This stress is on the second last syllable. So for example, okay, second last syllable. So for example, the educations, we do have 4 syllables. Education. Okay, so everybody, education.
Education, institution, concentration, demonstration.
Okay, so most noun or most words ending with Sean, Shan, they stress on the second last syllable. Okay, let me give you one of that. Okay, can you give me a word ending with Sean, Shan? Okay, Hannah. Act. Okay, where is the stress? Okay, very good. Action. Next. Another one. Yes.
Television,
Television. So where's the stress?
V,
V. Very good. Next. How about Chan? Technician. Okay, electrician. What else? Physician. You know what's physician? It is a what? What profession is physician? That is doctor. So that is the rule number 4. Words in show, shine, this was on second last syllable. Okay, any question? Okay, next rule. Okay, this one. Yes, Mika. Handle it.
Words with unusually stressed and second last syllable.
Okay, so thank you. Words with IC. With are usually stressed on the second syllable. So, for example, economic, realistic, strategic, mechanic, geographic. Okay. So, I look again. Economic. No, strategic. No, it's not strategic. Come again? Not strategic. Not the strategic. No, it's strategic. So that is a comprehension of that. Strategic. Geographic. Okay. So on that, can you give me an example of that? It's with IC. Bombastic. What else? Yes, very good. Electronic, very good. Another. IC. Yes, very good again. Okay, so another. Pandemic. Okay, very good. Pandemic. Okay, next, what else? Okay, so any question on that? Rules? Okay, so next, last rule. Do you ever do the last rule? Okay. Kindly. Yes, Nicole.
Words ending in EE and O are usually stressed on the last syllable.
Okay. Thank you. Words ending in E, O are usually stressed on the last syllable. Stress on the last syllable. So, for example, refugee, referee, guarantee, shampoo, taboo. Okay. On number 4, mostly our culture is we produce a shampoo. No, it should be shampoo. But then, since we are Filipino, that is considered shampoo. But then, based on this rule, we need to apply this rule. This stress on this last syllable, shampoo. Okay. Another, okay. Everybody can read? Refugee. No. Refugee. Referee. Guarantee. Shampoo. Taboo. Okay. So that is the rule number 5. Okay, any question? Okay, 9. Okay, so this time, I will check your information if you guys on our lesson. So you have here. Okay, so this time we'll be having a activity. This is enjoyable. Kindly stand up. Okay. So instruction is I'll be going to show you a word. Okay, you need to identify the word. If it is the first stress in the first syllable, you need to what? Clap your hands in 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If it is in the second last syllable, you need to raise your hand. Then, if it's last, you need to shake your body. Okay, shake your body. Okay, any question? Okay, so first word. Electric. Okay, so it's in the second last syllable. Electric. Next, bamboo. Okay, so last syllable, bamboo. O. Next, Consultation. Second last syllable. Okay, very good. Consultation. Next, permit. Permit. So permit is function as a verb. Permit. The other one, permit, that is noun. Okay. So any question, class? Clarifications? Objections? Okay. So if you do not have questions, okay, kindly sit down. Then, okay, so what have you learned about this song? About word stress. So the importance of the stress is what? To have a good communication for you to deliver your what? The content of that particular word. And then the technique of that is you need to speak clearly and naturally. So that is the essence of that topic, the word stress. You need to emphasize each word for you to understand one another. Okay, for your activity, kindly bring out one whole sheet of paper. One whole sheet. Okay, so this is your activity. Okay, read the following words. Identify the proper stress of the given words by means of putting stress symbol. Okay, the symbol used is the apostrophe. Okay, so we do have here 1 to 10. Okay, so start. Okay, if you do have clarifications, kindly ask your question. Okay, sit properly, class. Sit properly. Okay, so mind your own paper, class. Okay, you have still 2 minutes. Okay, you need to indicate the sign, the symbol, which is the apostrophe. That is the correct symbol for stress. Okay, so finish or finish. So kindly pass your paper. Okay, 1 at the right side. At the right side. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5. Okay, so any question? Clarifications on our lesson? Okay. So this time, so I'll be giving you an assignment. Kindly read on this. Okay, assignment. What is intonation? What are the different
for each level and the patterns of intonation.
Okay, we do have here Reference oral communication skill by Cabrina Padilla, page 45 to 48. Okay, again, any question, class? Okay, so let's call it a day. Goodbye, class. Okay. So you can.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan, Mr. Ivara, for that wonderful presentation. Now, the next presenter is yours truly, Mr. Jefferson A. Pedida. So, let's begin the Introduction to Linguistics class, or also known as Ling 101, and I will be your teacher for tonight or today. Okay, that depends on the setting or time of your class. Okay, let's start. Previously, yesterday we discussed a while ago about phonology, phonetics, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. So I hope you already know the different concepts or branches of linguistics. We already discussed this a while ago last time. So let's now move on to the next topic, and that is the other branches of linguistics or specialized branches of linguistics that includes discourse analysis, graphology, historical linguistics, language acquisition, SLA, psycholinguistics, stylistics, and computational or corpus linguistics. Okay, but for tonight, we will focus first on discourse analysis. This will be our lesson for today. My reference here is the book of Rovin entitled Conversation Analysis and Discourse Analysis, a comparative and critical introduction published by Sage Publication in London in the year 2005. Okay. In teaching, of course, this is very important. As a teacher, there's always be a purpose or an objectives. Okay, so at the end of the discussion, I hope you might learn this confidently or explain confidently the importance of discourse analysis because that is our topic later that I will discuss, and then demonstrate a conversational or discourse material through oral, audiovisual, or web-based presentation for different target audience in local and global settings using different texts and approaches. And lastly, you display discipline, poise, and confidence in their daily discourse. Okay, that's discourse analysis. Now, before we begin, let's have first an icebreaker or some motivational activity, okay? So I am asking you to participate on this activity because you might find this fun and kind of cute. Okay, so first one, can you read the scenario here? Anyone? So I'll just ask some of you. Okay, Mr. Rabino, can you be the guy? And Miss Miku, can you be the girl? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes
Okay,
po.
so first on this one, you just read this one, and then in discourse analysis, you will now focusing on the text. Okay, so just observe the text, and then I'll ask the question later on, and then answer it. What is the question being asked? Okay, Mr. Rabino, this is the guy. Can you read?
I need to get this prescription filled.
And then the girl replied.
If you'll take a seat, I'll have your medicine ready for a moment.
Okay, correct. Okay, now for using discourse analysis, finding the deeper meaning of the text or the text that is being uttered by the speaker and the listener. Who is the most woman likely to be? Is she a farmer? A flight attendant, a pharmacist, or a police? Can anyone answer this one? Let's ask Miss Maurice. Is it okay, Maurice?
Yes po.
Yes. Who is the one most likely to be?
A pharmacist.
A pharmacist. Correct. Thank you, Maurice. Okay, next.
Welcome po.
Hmm. There's a girl again and a boy. Okay. For the girl, can I ask Hazel to Miss Hines to read this one? Miss Hines, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and for a guy, Mr. Valdez, is it okay for you to read? Mr. Valdez? Okay, I think Mr. Valdez is quite shy. So let's just ask Mr. Rabino again. Mr. Rabino, can you be the guy for a while?
Yes po.
Okay, so Hazel, can you read this one?
How much are the flowers?
And then the boy replied,
Ma'am, it's $10 for a bouquet.
okay, very good. Now, using discourse analysis, um, where does the conversation probably takes place? Is it in a bakery, in a florist shop, in a kitchen, or in a grocery store? Can you answer this one, Mr. Melchor?
Hindi ba nagpasbaw? Galing.
Hello, Mr. Melchor? Okay, so hello, Mr. Melchor.
Letter B.
Letter D.
B.
Yeah, correct. It's a postal worker. Thank you. Okay. Lastly, okay, that's the last one. Now, let's go on the actual discussion about discourse analysis. Okay, what is discourse analysis? Anyone? Anyone?
Sir,
Yes. Who's that? Is that
ako
Hazel?
po, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, what is discourse analysis, Hazel?
Discourse analysis is a process understanding a text.
Very good. Okay, when we say discourse analysis, I'm using the book a while ago that I have as my reference. According to Harris in 1952, he stated that it is a method for analysis of the connected speech or writing for continuing descriptive linguistics beyond the limit of a single sentence at a time for correlating culture and language. In discussing discourse analysis, you need to understand what is discourse first. When we say discourse, it is a structural unit which can be studied by analogy with the sentence. Okay, honestly, in my own perspective, this is me, this represents me. I do believe that the word discourse is an elastic term. It's a genetic term. Okay, discourse originally comes from the word discursos or Latin word which means conversation, and the word discourse has a complex history. Complex history. It is used in a range of different ways by different theorists. As a noun, it can mean verbal communication, such as talk to talk, formal speech or writing on subject, and a unit of text used by linguists for analysis of linguistic phenomena that range over more than one sentence. In layman's term, or in a nutshell, in daily discourse or in daily interaction, discourse analysis is a process understanding a text by paying attention to everything that gives the meaning to the text. These are some of the deeper definition of discourse analysis. Okay, according to Nerdquist, discourse analysis is focusing on the conversation, the social context, the text, the sentence, the coherence or the quality of coherence, discourse, and the contextual meaning being uttered by the speaker and the listener. Okay, I have here a figure that gives you more and concept or give you more easy idea or easier more easy way of understanding about discourse analysis. Okay, for discourse analysis, if you're going to deal with discourse analysis, you must have a you're focusing on the text. Okay, the text that is being uttered by the speaker and listener. We all know that um, for us to communicate very well, there must be a speaker and a listener. And as a form of message, the text will be the thought. Okay. But before that, before you discuss or before you fully understand what is discourse analysis, you must know first what is the difference of text and discourse, because those two are quite confusing. When we say text in linguistics, when we say text, it is a written or spoken. Unlike discourse, it is focusing on the entire communication process. Okay? Another one by Stubbs, text is a written form of communication which is non-interactive in nature. Unlike discourse, it is interactive in nature. Is it clear?
Yes po.
Okay, thank you. Next, what do you think is the importance of discourse analysis? This is part of our objective a while ago. What do you think is part of discourse analysis? Importance of discourse analysis. Anyone? Okay. Before I discuss the importance of the conversation analysis about the importance of discourse analysis, if you study this kind of topic, this will help you to not judge a person easily based on the text or based on the words that he delivered or he uttered. Okay? Upon studying discourse analysis, it will help you to not judge easily. Nowadays, we are living in the world, in the cruel world, in a judgmental world. Okay, you can easily judge based on your words, based on your appearance. But as a person studying this kind of topic, it will help you to not judge easily based on the text, based on the conversation, or based on the messages that the speaker or the person being uttered to. Okay, that is the importance of discourse analysis, and I hope um, you apply this in your daily life. Okay. Upon studying discourse analysis, you're going to encounter the different approaches, and these are conversational analysis, speech act theory, ethnography of communication, interactional social linguistics, pragmatics, variation analysis, and so on and so forth. Okay, for conversational analysis, I have different definitions. According to um, Paltridge, conversational analysis looks at ordinary, everyday spoken discourse and aims to understand from a fine-grained analysis of the conversation. This conversational analysis in social linguistics, in the field of social linguistics, it is a study of the talk produced by the ordinary human or interaction. Okay, in layman's term, in a nutshell, conversational analysis is focusing on the conversation. Okay, so there's already a text that I have discussed a while ago. There's already a discourse. conversation appears or conversational will happen if the speaker and the listener delivers text or delivers a message. Okay, so if you're going to discuss or if you're going to study discourse analysis, you will encounter conversational analysis. Okay, conversational analysis has a two apparent facts about conversational analysis. First one is one person speaks at a time and speakers change recurs. Okay, for conversational analysis, there are four machineries. When we see machineries, these are components of conversational analysis to exist. To create a conversational analysis, but this is the way for you to analyze or for you to construct conversational analysis. And these are turn taking, sequence organization, turn design, and repair. Okay? In conversational analysis, turn taking is a term for a manner in which orderly conversation normally takes place. Turn taking, an example of turn taking is television programs, books, such as the dialogue in books, scripts, film, are some examples of turn taking. Okay? My evaluator assigned to me asked me to deliver this report or this lecture in 25 minutes. So I'll just discuss it or I'll just discuss the overview of these four machineries. Okay. But I'll make sure that you will learn the thought of these concepts. Okay. That's turn taking. When we say turn taking, you're focusing on the process. Okay. The speaker and the listener, when is the time to speak? Okay, such as in present in books and films and so on and so forth. Next, sequence organization. There's already turn taking. When we say turn taking a while ago, this is the moment or the process or your turn to speak. For sequence organization, this is the successive turns. When we say sequence of organization, this is the process. Okay, who will be the first speaker or the first pair part, and who will be the second pair part. In conversation, in speech communication, there's a speaker and the listener. Okay, for the speaker, he is the first pair part, and second pair part, that will be the listener. Okay, sequence organization. Okay, that's the process. And now for turn design, this is the text. Okay, an example for sequence organization is this one, question and answer portion. Okay, when we see question and answer portion, there's a first pair part and a second pair part. Acceptance and declination, complaint accounts and invitation. Greeting as well. If someone greets you, you will be the first pair part. Okay, I'll ask you, Marie Chris Sabil, are you here? Hello? Okay, Miss Miku, I will be the first pair part. Okay, are you here, Miss Miku?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Oh, I will be the first pair part, the FPP, and you will be the SPP. Okay. I'll just display or I'll just give you an example of sequence organization. Okay. Let's do a greeting. Okay. Good morning, Miss Miku. I am the first pair part, and the second is pair part. What would you say, Miss Miku?
Good morning, sir.
Okay, that is the second pair part. That is sequence organization. Thank you, Miss Miku. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes po.
Okay, very good.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
now this is turn design. When we say turn design, it is focusing on the mood of the text. It's either conditional, it's either declarative, it's either interrogative, exclamatory if you're expressing too much emotion, or it can be requests. Okay, so this is the mood. Okay, don't forget that. It is called turn design. And lastly, this is very important. All of us experience this one. repair. When we say repair, this is the problematic talks, repeat words, fillers. Okay, these are some of the classifications of different classes of repairs. Okay, when we say repairs, these are the fillers, repeated words, and problematic talks. Example, I'll use filler. In conversational analysis, repairs like and so on, like that. That is repair. That is fillers. Okay? If you're reciting in a class or recitation, you do fillers and so on like that. And so that's fillers. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now,
Opo.
those are the machineries of conversational analysis. Now, can you sum it up the topic, anyone? In teaching, this is very important. In applied linguistics, this is very important to summarize the lesson. We are now on the last part of um, teaching, the summary or the generalization. Can you just summarize or the topic? It can be the discourse analysis, conversational analysis, or machineries of conversational analysis. Anyone? Can anyone? Who wants to volunteer? Ms. Belmonte, can you summarize the four machineries of conversational analysis?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, si Jeb B. Melchor daw po.
Mr. Melchor, can you can you give me the four machineries of conversational analysis? Just the four.
Sir, hindi na po.
Turn taking,
Turn
turn
taking,
design,
turn
repair,
design.
sequence organization.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Melchor. Okay. Those are the machineries of conversational analysis. It's very important for you as a teacher to summarize the topic because this will help you determine if the student really understood the topic or the lesson. Okay, now let's have an activity. I want you to create a conversational or discourse material, either oral, audiovisual, web-based presentation for different target audience, either in local or in global setting, using the different texts and approaches. Since we only have a limited time that was given to me, I'll just let you do this at home. Okay? I'll just let you do this as an assignment. Okay? This is individual. Okay, I'll just check this one, or we'll just check this one first hour in the morning tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes po,
now
sir.
Okay, sir.
what do you think is the implication or the morale of the lesson? What do you think is the implication or morale of the lesson in our daily lives? I already discussed this a while ago. What do you think is the importance of our lesson in our daily lives? Can anyone discuss this one? What is the importance of the lesson in our daily lives? What do you think? Hazel, what do you think?
Sir.
What do you think is the morale of the
Sir.
lesson? Hello?
Sir. Po.
Sino? Oh, yes, Jebby. What do you think is the morale of
Gemalin, sir.
Jemaline? Jemaline.
Gemalin, sir.
Yes, what do you think?
Sir, si Jeb.
Sir, sir, as you've said a while ago, sir, it will help us to don't judge the person by its statement, sir.
Very good. Correct.
or his or her text, sir.
Very good. That's the purpose of this lesson. Okay? You already know the different components or different ways or machineries in conversation. So it will help you, this lesson will help you to not judge easily. Okay? In millennial word, huwag kang judgmental. Okay? Bawal ang judgmental. Okay? Lastly, this is the last activity. I am going to ask you some different questions and you determine what type of machineries of conversational analysis is that. Okay? So this is an excerpt above poetry entitled Song to Celia by Ben Jonson. Okay? We have four machineries: turn taking, turn design, sequence organization, and repair. Okay? You determine what type of machineries is this. Song to Celia. I'll read the excerpt and you answer what type of machinery is that. Is this one. Okay. Drink to me only with thine eyes, and I will pledge you with mine. Or leave a kiss but in a cup, and I will not look for wine. The thirst from a soul that rise, that asks a drink divine. But might I of Jove's nectar sup, and I would not change for thine. This is a under British literature in authored by Ben Jonson. This is the period of William Shakespeare. Okay, so there are some words here that is very um, Middle English or Modern English. Okay, so what do you think is this one? Is it turn design, turn taking, sequence organization, or repair? Anyone?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, I think turn design because of the mood.
Turn design?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, because of the mood.
The answer
I
is
just
turn taking.
stop.
But thank you, Jabby, for answering. Santa Celia is
Yes,
a
sir.
representation of love. Why? Because Ben Jonson as the speaker and Celia as the listener. And this one, the script or the words is the text. Okay, this poetry is an expression of love. The speaker looks at his beloved Celia, pleads for her attention, and urges her to kiss him. To him, her magical kiss is more than an intoxicated than a wine. Okay, the wine here is a metaphor for a kiss. Okay, so Ben Jonson really loved Celia a lot. Okay, next. Next is the video. So hold on for a while. I'll just stop sharing the screen.
Life that's hit you over the last couple weeks, couple weeks, few weeks, months, year, sweeten her out very soon.
Life's too short. And just, that. Like, life's too short. Be grateful and be happy and follow happy impulses, and the rest will sort itself out.
But how does that change how you live your life every day?
I don't know. I just I feel very open and honest and chill, and I feel like myself again. I feel like for a while it was
Okay, what is that?
Repair.
Repair, correct. Next. That's repair because Ariana Grande are using fillers.
Light and
Next one. I still have another one. I'll just move it here.
No. Sana ako pa rin. Ako na lang.
This is one of the
Ako na lang ulit.
Mahal ko si Trisha.
Alam ko. Alam ko.
She loved me at my worst. You had me at my best. At binaliwala mo ng lahat yun.
Babae ba talaga yung tingin mo?
Okay, what's that?
Turn design, sir.
Turn design. There are two answers here.
Turn taking.
Turn design and turn taking. Correct. Why? Why turn design?
Because it express emotion, sir. I think
But
it's
just I'll
in
give an
turn.
overview. This is one of my favorite film in the Philippines. Okay. Now, on the last part of teaching, you give your student an assignment, and on this particular lesson or this particular day, I want you to research the definition of speech act theory, ethnography of communication in the context of discourse analysis. This is the second part of discourse analysis, second approaches of discourse analysis. Any questions and clarification? Of course, as a teacher, you should always ask questions and clarifications if the student learned a lot or learned or understood the topic. Okay, questions for discourse analysis? Questions?
None, sir.
None. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you for, and that's it. That's for the webinar or lecture for discourse analysis. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you find this lecture relevant or information you informed or you learned a lot from this particular topic. Now, let us call on Mr. Gilval Mangantolao for his presentation.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gents. My name is Silval Mangantulao, and I'm your teacher for today. Today, we're going to talk about semantics. Basically, this is just an introduction to semantics. But before that, I just want to ask you some questions. First is, can you tell me the difference between language with a capital letter L and language with a small letter X? L. Anybody, please? Miss Wan.
I think the language that starts with capital letter pertains to the specific languages such as English language, French language, and the like, while the other one pertains to principles of a certain language.
Sa. Language with a small letter L refers to language specifics, which is specific languages, while language with a capital letter L refers to language universals or the general principles of language. Basically, here in semantic, we're talking about language with a capital letter L because our concern in semantics is not just on English language, but also the general principles of language. Next. What is the first thing comes to your mind when you hear the word or when you read the word fire department?
An
Anybody?
office.
Sergio Ryan.
I think the fire department is under the Bureau of Fire helping those uh, in need of help when it comes to fire.
Any other opinion? That's correct. Miss Soliman, what is the first thing comes to your mind when you hear the word or when you read the word fire department?
Um, so I'm sorry, but I agree with him. That's what all I came up to my mind when I saw these words.
Basically, because we study or we have a knowledge about the word or about the department. When we say fire department, basically it is concern is about fire, like Bureau of Fire Protection. But for some people, maybe they will understand the words that fire department is somewhat causing fire or the department is on fire. That's what we're going to talk about semantics. And at the end of the lesson, you are expected to first define semantics, compare and contrast literal and figurative language, describe types of semantics. So what is semantics? Semantics is the area of linguistics that analyzes the meaning of words, phrases, and sentences in language. The study of semantics includes the study of how meaning is constructed, interpreted, clarified, obscured, illustrated, simplified, negotiated, contradicted, and paraphrased. Not everything you see is what it seems. Maybe the word chicken, when you read the word chicken or hear the word chicken, it's not actually referring to domestic animal. Now let's have a warm up. Look at these words. Read them and think what other words come to your mind in relationship to term provided, like dog, sofa, pill, coin, wheel, shoes, bed, baby, sugar, sun, kids, turkey, and others. Joshua, what are the other words you think if you hear the word or read the word dog?
Sir, I remember my friend.
You remember your friend. How about Crystal? When
Yes, sir.
you hear or read the word pencil,
Sir,
when you
what about
hear
the pencil?
what are the other words comes to your mind when you hear or read the word pencil?
Mongol.
Mongol. So all the words mentioned before and the concepts that we link to them have a meaning. It can be conceptual or associative. But both this form of meaning are used in subliminal marketing. When we say subliminal marketing, it is surreptitious in nature. Just like your favorite movie, it is somewhat suspense. Now, we have two main types of meaning, the associative and the conceptual. Actually, there are 7 types of meaning, but there are two main types, associative and conceptual. That is our focus for tonight. So conceptual meaning refers to the linguist function of the word that provide its meaning. Example given, money. It is an object or series of them that allow people to buy goods. When we say conceptual meaning, this is the literal meaning or the meaning given by the dictionary. While associative meaning deals with the concepts that we add to the original word from the word associate. Example given, money. And we think that money is rich, job to work, tired, coin, poor, and others. So associative meaning, we have another interpretation aside from its original meaning. Now, try to analyze what's the problem with these sentences. How can you explain that the problem is with each one? First sentence, the hamburger ate the boy. JC, what do you think is the problem with the sentence? The hamburger ate the boy. Hi, JC, are you there? Anybody? What do you think is the problem with the sentence, the hamburger ate the boy?
Misplaced modifier.
Misplaced modifier. Okay. The next one is the table listens to the radio. Who can say what's the problem with the sentence? Anyone? Jay. Jay, I can't hear you. Okay. The sentences, these sentences may be correct in terms of syntax. But the problem is, it is semantically wrong. Why? Because the hamburger ate the boy. Have you seen a hamburger ate a boy? Are you sure that people listens to the radio? And have you seen a genius horse reading the newspaper? Basically, this is semantically wrong. Now, we have semantic features. The semantic features are categories that allow us to classify the meaning of a word. They are usually represented with a head word and using the symbols positive and negative to say if the word contains that feature. There is no list of semantic features. We need the context to create one. The given words are table, horse, boy, man, girl. And the features are animate, human, female, adult. In semantic feature analysis, for example, the given word is table, you will just put the sign positive or negative, it's animate. The table is not animate, so therefore it is negative. It is not a human, it's not a female, and it's not an adult. While the horse, it is animate, positive, not a human, negative, not a female, the specific, not specific, and adult, positive, and so on. Next example is the given words are insects, bees, ants, mosquitoes, wasps, cricket. The features are 6 legs, 3 body parts, has wings. Same with the other example, just put positive sign if it is and negative if it's not. Next, we have semantic roles. Okay, semantic roles. Semantic roles are properties that the noun phrases have according to their meaning inside the sentence. So what are the roles of the word? Basically, semantic roles are, we have the agent, the theme, instrument, experiencer, location, source, and goal. For example, the boy kicked a ball. In that sentence, the person who executes the action is called agent. Called the agent. The agent in that sentence is the boy. The theme is the object or person that is directly affected or described by the action. In this case, a ball. So the boy kick a ball, the boy is the agent, and the ball is the theme. Now let's have instrument and experiencer. The boy cut his hair with the scissors. In this example, we can notice that there is a tool that helps the agent to perform the action. That is the semantic role of instrument, who helps the agent, scissor. Therefore, the scissor is an instrument. He felt happy about cutting his hair. When the action is related to a feeling, a state, or perception, the agent takes the name of experiencer. Now we have location, source, and goal. The keys are next to the vase. She brought some souvenirs from France. Marco travels to Merida tomorrow. In the first sentence, the text in pink marks the semantic role of location, basically exact location. In the second, the semantic role of source, where it came from the word from France. In the third one, the semantic role of goal, where is it going? To Merida. Therefore, it is the goal. Now, roles of noun phrase in a sentence. The boy kicked the ball. The boy is the doer, therefore, he is the agent. Kick the ball is the entity affected by the action is the ball. It is the theme or the patient. Thematic roles, agent or patient. The boy hurt himself. The agent is the boy. The theme is himself. Johnny cut the rope. Johnny cut the rope with a knife. Johnny is the agent. The rope is the theme, directly affected by the agent. And with a knife is the instrument. The boy feels sad. The experiencer is the boy. Feels sad. One who sees, knows, or enjoys something. Mary saw a fly on the wall. Experiencer is Mary. Theme is a fly. And location is on the wall. The thematic roles is location and the place of action. Now, Mary borrowed a book from George. Mary is the agent. A book is the theme. And the source is from George. It is the starting point of the movement. From the word from. She returned the book to George. Therefore, to George is the goal. End point of movement. Now, let's have lexical relations. First one is synonymy. Two or more words with very close related meanings are called synonyms. They can often, though not always, be substituted for each other in sentences, like almost, nearly, big, large, broad, wide, buy, purchase, and so on. It is important to consider that the idea of sameness of meaning used in discussing synonymy is not necessarily total sameness. For example, the word buy and purchase. You buy a paper, but you purchase school supplies. The buy is first level vocabulary, and the purchase is second level. So it's not totally the same. Next, antonymy. Two forms with opposite meanings are called antonyms. Alive, dead, big, small, fast, slow, happy, sad, tall, short. There are two types of antonyms. First one is gradable and the second one is non-gradable. Gradable antonyms refer to the contrary adjectives, big, small, while non-gradable antonyms refer to those words that don't allow comparison. However, they have a complementary word, dead or alive. Next, hyponymy. When the meaning of one form is included in the meaning of another, the relationship is described as hyponymy. For example, animal, dog, poodle, vegetable, carrot, flower, rose. Sorry. Like for example, living things. Under living things, we have creature, we have plant. Under plant, we have animal, insects. And plant, we have vegetable, flower, and trees. We can also say that two or more words that share the same superordinate term are co-hyphenies. What are the superordinate terms here? Manolet?
The creature and plant.
Yes. The superordinate is the creature and plant. And under creature, we have animal or insects. They are called hyphonimes. Hyponyms. Next. Hyponymy inclusions. Superordinate term is color. And the hyponyms are blue, green, yellow, and purple. So instead of saying the actual color of something, maybe you can say has a color or have a color. Next is prototype. The idea of the characteristic instance of category is known as the prototype. The concept of a prototype helps explain the meaning of certain words like bird, not in terms of component features, has feathers or wings, but in terms of resemblance to the clearest example, dog, tree, table, and chair. Now we have homophones. When two or more different written forms have the same pronunciation, they are described as homophone. Example, bear and bear, meat and meat, flower and flower. The same pronunciation, different spelling, and different meaning. That's homophones. And we use the term homonyms when one form has two or more unrelated meanings, as in this example, bound. The same spelling, the same pronunciation, but the first one refers of a river and the second one refers to financial institution. Okay, let me clarify here. Homophones, two different forms have the same pronunciation, but they have different meaning and different spelling. While homonyms, the same spelling, the same pronunciation, but have different meaning. Homonyms are homographs. One form, different meanings, like light are not heavy and illumination, and so on. Now, let's have polysemy. Can be defined as one form having multiple meanings that are all related by extension. Head, head as part of the body, mind or mental ability, a person in charge. Foot of a person or of a mountain. Date, point in time, arranged meeting. Next, wordplay. These last three lexical relations are the basis of a lot of wordplay, usually for humorous effect. Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Question. The plural of hippopotamus is hippopotami. Hippotami. What is the plural form of watafulamus? Answer, watafulamay. Okay, next. Metonymy. It is a relationship between two words that is based on daily life experience. The close connection can be based on a container contents relation, bottle, cook, can, juice. A whole part relation, car, wheels, house, roof, or a representative, symbol relationship. King, crown, the president, the White House, or the president, Malacanang Palace. Now, metaphors. A metaphor is a phrase that does not carry the literal meaning of the words, but is used to mean something different. For example, my car is a lemon. Works as a metaphor because the term lemon has a secondary meaning, a defective vehicle. Understanding the concept in terms of another extension beyond the primary sense. Eye of the needle, see the point. Buying time, budget time, spend time. Borrowed time, peak of health, fell into depression. Now let's have collocation. Frequently occurring together is known as collocation. Words tend to occur with other words. Some collocations are joint pairs of words such as salt and pepper or husband and wife. Puto at dinuguan, Filipino. Hammer, nail. Needle, thread. Butter, bread. Salt, pepper. Now, is there any question?
No, sir.
None, sir.
Okay. For your assignment, present an oral presentation or written description of image or object and use words to paint a picture. That's all for tonight. And our reference is ULG 2006, The Study of Language from Cambridge. Thank you and keep safe.
Thank you, Sir Val. And now, for our last presenter, let us call on Miss Maria Manolet M1 for her presentation.
Okay. Hello everyone, I'm Maria Manolet A1 and I will be your demonstrator for today. But before we proceed to my topic, I'm going to give you a trivia. Did you know that aside from what happened to the missing 15 billion, one of the hardest questions to answer is also what is our label? Kidding aside, what is our label is actually the title of our first activity. In here, you'll have to describe what is happening and define the relationship that is shown on the picture. You have 30 seconds to think of your answers, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Who wants to share his or her answer? Yes, Markland?
Based on the picture, I think it is a greeting between blood relatives, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Aside from greetings, what value is shown on the picture? Yes, JR.
It's our traditional Filipino traits, and it's also shown in the picture that on how we respect our elders.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Aside from respect, what value is shown on the picture? Anyone?
Ma'am, may you repeat the question?
Aside from respect, what other value is shown on the picture? Yes, JR.
In our language, we use po and opo po.
We use po and opo to show what?
Politeness.
Very good. So politeness in linguistics is our topic for today. Politeness is a part of our life. It is a principle of social interactions that we encountered every day, consciously and unconsciously. Also, according to Ifishelubi 2014, he stated that we all had expectations as to how we should be addressed by the various people we meet in the various contents in which we meet them. After the discussion, you are expected to define politeness theory, to enumerate and explain politeness strategies, and to determine the importance of politeness in language. So what is politeness? It is defined by Gitz in 1960 as an etiquette, while Scoop in 1988 and Aga 1994 defined it as a form of honorification. Also, it is a means to restrain feelings and emotion to avoid conflicts by Cipriano 1992. As such, Mahmoud concluded politeness as a need in education, a strategy to build character, and as a motivation in the class. The branch of linguistics that concerns politeness is pragmatics. It is the study of what the speaker means, whereas people communicate with more than the literal meaning of words when they speak. In 1980s, Penelope Brown and Stephen Levinson incited the framework of politeness theory. Let's unlock some terms that will help us understand this theory. So in 1955, Goffman conceptualized face. It is not our actual face, but our public self-image. It is the question of how we wanted to be perceived by others. Thus, face is free from judgment. We have two sides of faces, the positive face and the negative face. Positive face is the image we wear wanting approval by the others, while the negative face is the unimpeded image or the me who don't care about the opinion of other people. Also, Goffman figured that in every social process, the participants need to be appreciated or the positive face and the need to be free or the negative face. Yet, there is a menace to switch faces called face threatening acts or FTA. It is common to see during social interactions. It is where speech acts are threatening in that they do not support the face wants of the speaker and or those of addressee. It covers basic parameters such as whose face is being threatened and which type of face is being threatened, the positive or the negative. Fortunately, politeness is the aid to prevent and or repair the damages caused by FTA. Two possible roads can be taken upon committing FTA: the positive politeness strategy and the negative politeness strategy. On the one hand, positive politeness strategy is an involvement-based approach made by the speaker to ratify, understand, approve, and admire the positive image of the addressee. On the other hand, negative politeness strategy is an avoidance-based approach that convey respect, deference, and distance. So here is the Brown and Levinson's politeness theory. In social interactions where politeness is being used, the conversation starts with intention. When you, as the speaker, chose to pursue your intention, you are imposing a threat to the addressee. Then, left with two options to minimize the threat: either to continue on record or to stop with off record. The first strategy taught by the politeness theory is the off record. It is when formulated FTA is in highly indirect way. Addressee have the choice not to give in. However, it is risky because there is a possibility that the addressee won't get your point, even though the addressee has the intention of helping you. For example, we have here this scenario where Tina didn't make it to the class last time, but she knows her friend Dylan had always takes notes during class. What should Tina do or say to Dylan? It is an off-record strategy when Tina is going to approach Dylan in this way. King, would you like to read what is stated on strategy A?
Strategy A. Gaze longingly to Dylan notes and say something like, I don't know what to do. I missed class. I wish I had notes from someone who is here.
Okay, thank you, King. So as you can see, Tina indirectly say that she needs the notes of Dylan. Did you get the point of this strategy?
Yes, ma'am.
So in Filipino term, it is what we call pagpaparinig. Okay, next one. On record. In on record, it makes the speaker's intention very clear. So it is the opposite of off record na nagpapaligoy-ligoy. On record, you are straightforwardly saying your intention. When you choose on record, there are two roads that you can choose. It may lead to don't redress, or also known as bald on record, which means the speaker doesn't care to the face of the addressee being threatened. So the speaker is being tactless, taklesa. So here is the strategy that is possible for a bald on record. Jelly, would you like to read the strategy B?
Strategy B. Saying straightforwardly like, I need your note from last week, making Dylan no option to disagree.
Okay, thank you so much. What did you notice to strategy B? Is it direct or indirect way of saying the speaker's intention?
Direct.
Okay, very good. Next, using the same scenario, Tina could also approach Dylan straightforwardly by saying, wait. Sorry. Let's go back to strategy B. Okay, so we also have redress. So when we say redress, it depends on the context or the situation. But since it is mentioned that Tina and Dylan are friends in the scenario given, Tina could approach Dylan using a positive politeness strategy. When we say positive politeness strategy, it is appealing to the positive face of the addressee. However, we also have the negative politeness strategy, which is appealing on the negative face of the addressee. So we have two strategies here to compare the positive politeness strategy and the negative politeness strategy. JR, would you like to read strategy C?
Strategy C. Hey, Dylan, good to see you. You always have the best notes. Please help me out. That would be amazing.
Yeah, thank you. So it is a positive politeness because Since Tina and Dylan are friends, you can see the closeness in the words that were used by Tina, like saying "good to see you," and she's comfortable of saying her intention without malice. How about strategy D? Mark Lance, would you like to read strategy D?
Strategy D. Hi, Dylan. I feel really bad asking this. I know you always put so much work into your notes and I should have been on time for the last lecture. Would it be okay for you if I copy them for just this once?
So negative politeness strategy is possible for two people who weren't that so close. As you can see, Tina approached Dylan in a very formal way. She also stated the reason why she didn't have her notes in a very formal way. And the last strategy of politeness theory is the don't do the FTA or don't do the face threatening act, where the speaker does not pursue his or her intention and just remain as an idea, just like this. King, would you like to read strategy E?
Strategy E. Decided to leave Dylan, not pursuing her intention.
Okay, thank you so much. So instead of Tina approaching Dylan, she chose not to. Therefore, there is no threat between Tina and Dylan because there is no interaction that happened between them. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, moving on. To summarize, there are 5 politeness strategies in politeness theory. So we have the don't do the FTA, off record, don't redress or the bowed on record, positive politeness strategy, and the negative politeness strategy. Among the 5, which do you think is the politest way? Any idea? Among the 5 strategies mentioned, which do you think is the politest strategy? Yes, Markland.
Positive politeness.
Positive politeness. I don't think so, but yes, it is polite. But you can also apply that to the person you are very close to. So the person, the addressee, doesn't have the option to say no since there is a close relationship between the two of you. Any other guess? Yes, JR.
Mom, I think the negative politeness.
Negative politeness. Yes, it is a polite strategy. However, when we say negative politeness, we only say that to those we only apply that to those we are not very close to. Therefore, there is still a threat because when you are talking to a stranger, um, some strangers won't welcome talking to you, right? So I don't think that's the answer for that. Any other guess? Jelly, do you have a guess? None?
None, ma'am.
How about King?
Can you please Repeat the question.
Among the five strategies that we encounter, what do you think is the politest strategy?
Mm, off record.
Very good. It's actually the off-record strategy. According to Brown and Levinson in 1978, they consider that off-record is the politest strategies among all. It is because it allows the speaker to avoid responsibility for the potentially face-lost interpretations. So, the addressee had the option to whether help the speaker or not. Therefore, there is less pressure on the addressee. Therefore, it is the politest way to approach someone because you are not giving him or her the responsibility to accept your request. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, let's have a short review on what we learned today. May I ask everyone to use the reactions that can you see on your screen to represent your action and your answer, I should say. The like reaction is for letter A, and the clap reaction is for letter B. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So we are going to use the same scenario, but we are going to identify the strategy that is used on the given statement. Okay, first question. Hi, Dylan. I feel really bad asking this. I know you always put so much work into your notes, and I should have been on time for the last lecture. Would it be okay for you if I copy them just this once? What do you think is the strategy used here? A, positive politeness strategy, or B, negative politeness strategy? A for the like sign, B for the clap reaction. Okay, I'm seeing answers here. How about Jelai? I haven't seen your answer. Okay. Okay, I see that. I see that. Yes, the correct answer is letter B. It is a negative politeness strategy because it is a very formal way of relaying your intention. Okay, next one. Saying straightforwardly like, I need your notes from last week, making Dylan no option to disagree. What strategy is used in this statement? A, bold on record, or B, off record strategy? Very straightforward, blunt. What strategy is used? Okay, I'm seeing answers here. How about Jelai? A for likes reaction, B for the clap reaction. How about King? What is your answer?
The correct answer for number two is letter B of record strategy.
How about Jelai?
I-
Jelai, what is your answer?
Letter A.
Okay, the correct answer for this one is the letter A, bold on record strategy. When we say bold, it is synonymous with blunt, meaning being straightforward. Okay, next one. Tina decided to leave Dylan, not pursuing her intention. What strategy is used? A, do the face threatening act, or B, don't do the face threatening act. Okay, very good. How about Jelai? A or B? A or B, like or clap? Okay, like. Very. Mm. The correct answer for this one is letter B. There is no threat because Tina decided to leave instead of talking to Dylan. Okay, we're almost done. Politeness theory, therefore, born from the concept of face or how we wanted to be recognized in public. Yet, there is an imminence how our face changes during a social interaction called face threatening act. Helpfully, by means of politeness, through face saving acts, we can use certain language to lessen the possible threats. The theory then provides framework of how language uses minimize and mitigates face loss in communication. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. As for your assignment, you are to write an essay on how you integrate politeness in your daily life. Minimum words is 300 with a maximum of 500 words. And you're going to submit it next meeting. Okay, that ends our discussion. Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions so far?
None, ma'am.
Nan, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. See you again next time.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Goodbye,
Bye.
ma'am.
Bush. Thank you, Miss Wan, for that wonderful presentation. Now, before we move on into the next presentation, let us call on first Mr. Jerwin Asuncion for his intermission number. Mr. Asuncion, for that energetic intermission number. Now, let us move on to the second part of the lecture. Let us begin with Miss Yoli Bulusan for her presentation.
Hello class, I am your teacher for today. I am Yoli. The topic that I will be discussing is all about language and culture. But before that, I will just tell you the objectives of this lesson. At the end of the lesson, the students are expected to discuss some of the social norms that guided conversational norms. Second, identify some of the ways in which language varies based on cultural context. And lastly, discuss cultural bias in relation to the specific cultural identities. Now let's proceed to the lesson proper. Language and culture. Can I ask you, class, what is your thought about language and culture? Miss Ganaban, can you give your thought about language and culture?
Okay, ma'am. Language and culture are intertwined. A particular language usually points out to a specific group of people. So when you interact with another language, it means that you are also interacting with the culture that speaks the language. So you cannot understand one's culture without assessing its language directly.
Okay, very good, Miss Ganaban. Thank you for your thought. Language is a structured system of communication used by humans consisting of sounds or spoken languages or gestures, or we can call it sign languages. Estimates of the numbers of human languages in the world vary between 5,000 and 7,000. However, any precise estimates depends on the arbitrary distinction between languages and dialect. Natural languages are spoken or signed, but any language can be encoded into secondary media using auditory, visual, or textile stimuli, for example, in writing, whistling, and singing. Also, language is one of the most important parts of any culture. It is the way by which people communicate with build relationship, and create a sense of community. Ms. Ganaban, can you read the second definition of language?
Language is one of the most important
The
parts of
second,
any.
this one,
I'm sorry.
no, the second one.
Communication is a core component of any society, and language is an important aspect of that. As a language began to develop, different cultural communities put together collective understandings through sounds.
Okay, very good. Language is also much more than an external expression and communication of external thoughts formulated independently of their verbalization. It demonstrating the inadequacy and inappropriateness of such a view of language, attention has already been drawn to the ways in which one's native language, in initiately and in all sort of details relative to the rest of one's in a community and to a smaller group within the community. According to a philosopher, Wittgens argued that philosophy is really the study of language. Major figures in linguistics includes Ferdinand de Saussure and Noam Chomsky. We have here the 7 relationship between language and culture. Miss Ocampo, can you read the first relationship uh, between language and culture?
Use paralanguage. Used to transmit messages, paralanguage is specific to a culture, therefore, the communication with other ethnic groups can lead to misunderstandings.
Okay, thank you. When you say using paralanguage, when you grow up in a specific society, it is inevitable to learn the glances, gestures, and little changes in voice or tone and other communication tools to emphasize or alter what you want to say. These specific communication techniques of one culture are learned mostly by imitating and observing people, initially from parents and immediate relatives, and later from friends and people outside the close family circle. Next is homologous relationship of culture and language. Miss Ganaban, can you read the second one? Miss Ganaban? Okay. Homologous relationship of culture and language is the phrase language is culture and culture is language is often mentioned when language and culture are discussed. It's been the two have a homologous although complex relationship. Language and culture develop together and influence each other as they evolve. Using this context, Alfred Kroeber, a cultural anthropologist from the United States, said that culture started when speech was available, and from that beginning, the enrichment of either one led the other to develop further. If culture is a consequence of the interaction of humans, the act of communication are their cultural manifestations within a specific community. According to Rosilandi, a philosopher from Italy whose work focused on philosophy, semiotics or linguistics said that a speech community is made to up to all the messages that were engaged with one another using a given language, which is understood by the entire society. Rosie Landy further added that the young children learn their language and culture from the society they were born in. In the process of learning, they develop their cognitive abilities as well. Next is influencing the way people think. If you are familiar with the principle of linguistic relativity, it states that the way people think of the world is influenced directly by the language that the people use to discuss it. Anthropologist, linguist Edward Sapir of United States said that the language habits of specific groups of people build the real world. He further added that no two languages are similar in such a way that they could represent one society. The world for each society is different. In analysis, this means that speaking a language means that the person is assuming a culture, knowing another culture based on their principle. It's knowing its particular language. And communication is needed to live the interpretation and representations of the world. The fourth one is the intercultural interactions. Communication is necessary for any person who wants to understand and get along with people. whose background and beliefs are greatly dissimilar from their own. Uh, Cultural identity can be marked by language, although language can be used to refer other processes and developments, like when intentions are explained in the language by a specific speaker, a specific language refers to a particular cultural groups, values, basic assumptions, behavioral conventions, beliefs, and attitudes shared by an ethnic group make up that we call culture. This set of attributes influences the behavior of individual members of the group and their interpretations of the meaning of the behavior displayed by each member. The next is transmission of culture and language. Language is learned, which means it can be culturally transmitted. For example, the preschool children take on their first language from their exposure to random words they encounter in and out of their homes. When they reach school age, they are taught either their first language or another language. If it is the first language, the children are taught writing and reading, the correct ways to construct sentences and how to use formal grammar. However, the initial knowledge of the child about the essential structure and vocabulary of the first language was learned before the child went to the school. Conversely, culture is transmitted in a large part by language, thought, teaching, through teaching. Language is the reason why humans have the histories of animals do not have in the study of animal behavior through the course of history. The fifth is the assimilation and social differentiation and language. Transmission of a language is self-perpetuating unless there is deliberate interference. However, it became important for humans to improve their social hierarchies and social status to advance personally. An example of this phenomenon is the insistence of immigrants from Europe to speak American English when they decided to move to the United States. It is because they realize that speaking American English is the sign of acceptance in their new home country. Unexpectedly, the third generation immigrants now want to get in touch with the language of their ancestors. The next is the cultural and linguistic diversity. Culture unifies a community, although there is diversity within that unity. For example, the speech used by the older generations could be different from the one used by the younger ones. The different group may speak one language, but there would be subsets used by different groups of people. There could be slight differences in the language used by a professor compared to the one used by a young office worker. People could use different forms of the same language in online forums, which would vastly differ from the language used by media and classically trained individuals. Language is used in different ways and broadly. The linguistic varieties could be categorized in geographical, social, or the functional and situational. These factors lead to the formation of dialect that add diversity to the language. Lastly, language always carries meaning and references beyond itself. The meaning of a particular language represents the culture of a particular social group. To interact with a language means to do so with the cultural, which is its reference point. Uh, that is the end of my topic. Class, please bring out one full sheet of paper or just a 1/4 sheet. I'll just give you your assignment for the next meeting.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. The first question is, identify what is the 7 relationship of language and culture. Next, give the difference between language and culture and the uh, what is the representation of each word. Did you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See you next meeting. Okay, class, see you next meeting. Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye. Bye, class. Thank you for your
Bye.
cooperation.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss Bulusan, for that wonderful presentation. Now, for the second presenter, let us call on Miss Baby Jane Batarao for her presentation.
Okay, so good afternoon, class. First of all, I am Baby Jane Batarao, MA English first year student. So can I call on Miss Rose to lead the prayer for today's meeting?
Let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Do not bring us to the test, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Thank you, Miss Rose. So are we all present for today?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's good. Then, so before we proceed to our lesson, I'm gonna show some pictures. So each presentation contains 4 photos in a grid, and I want you to figure out the word of what those common picture shows. And I think all of you knows this kind of game, but before that, let us proceed to the first picture. Let me share my screen first. Can you see what I'm sharing, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we will now start. So what do you think is the answer in this photo, in this grid?
Pink, ma'am. Pink.
Pink. So let me see. Wow, very good, Mr. JR. Next, this one. Can you guess it? What do this boy doing? What is he doing? What do you think?
Ma'am, break.
Break. Who answered it?
Ma'am, J-Bon Bataraw.
Let me see the answer. Oh, you got the answer, Mr. Batarao. Now let's proceed to the next slide. How about this one? What do you think?
Sign, ma'am.
What?
Sign, ma'am, sign.
Who answered it?
Ma'am, Edmund Bataraw.
Uh-huh. Wow, you're good. How about this one? Can you guess?
Spot? Ma'am, spot.
Is that you, Mr. Batarao?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, thank you. And how about this one?
Crown. Crown, ma'am. Crown.
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 What did you say?
Crown. Crown, ma'am. Crown. Crown.
That's right. How about this one? This last greeting here.
Torch. Ma'am, torch.
You're all good in answering this grid, right? So do you have in mind of what our game called? Yes, Mr. Janbert.
Ma'am, pick one word.
Wow, thank you, Mr. Janbert. So do you have any insight or idea regarding that four pick one word?
Ma'am, puzzle for the brain.
So how about the others?
Ma'am,
Yes, Mr. JR.
for pick one word means that those pictures in a grid shares common meaning.
Mm-hmm. Shares common meaning. That's right, Mr. JR. So the four pick one word is an example of psycholinguistic game. Why? Because this involves interaction between language and thought. So efficient reading results from skill in selecting the fewest, most productive cues necessary to produce guesses which are right for the first time. So we will now proceed to our lesson proper. So the old term for psycholinguistics is neurolinguistics. It is the relationship between human brain in 18th century. So it is the study of neural mechanism in the human brain that controls acquisition, production, and comprehension. So psycholinguistics is the branch of study which combines the discipline of psychology and linguistics. It is the study of mental aspects of language and speech. It is primarily concerned with the ways in which language is represented and processed in the brain. So it is also the study of mental mechanisms that make it possible for people to use language. So it is a scientific discipline whose goal is a coherent theory of the way in which language is produced and understood. So we will now proceed to the important aspects of psycholinguistics. The first is coinage of term, second, Chomskyan revolution, third, work on psycholinguistics, fourth, area of study, and fifth is the theories of psycholinguistics. So for the coinage of term psycholinguistics, Robert Cantor Robert Cantor is an American psychologist. So he introduced psycholinguistics in his 1936 books, An Objective Psychology of Grammar. So the term was popularized by Cantor's student, who is Nicholas Henry Bronco. In his 1946 article, Language and Psychology, Psycholinguistics a Review. So the pronunciation for psycholinguistics is psycholinguistics. So it is also known as psychology of language. The etymology of the Greek comes from the Greek mind plus the Latin word tongue. For Chomskyan revolution, Chomsky suggests that humans possess a special innate ability for language and complex syntactic features such as recursion are hardwired in the brain. So all humans have an ability to learn language. The learning acquisition device is fixed in human mind. So for the work in psycholinguistics, works on psycholinguistics starts as far as Plato. So it became prominent in the 19th century with linguistics. So the important psycholinguists who did work on it is Paul Broca, Charles Hackett, and William Levelt. So Mr. Batarao, will you please read the background of Paul Broca? Mr. Batarao, please read the background of Paul Broca. The background of Mr. Paul Broca, please read it.
Whereas Paul Broca, born June 28, 1824, died July 9, 1880. Born in Saint-Foy, La Grande, Gironde. He is French physician, surgeon, anatomist, and anthropologist. Best known for this research in Broca's area, a region of frontal lobe.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Batarao. Next is Mr. Charles Hackett. Mr. John Burp, will you please read his background? Mr. John Burp, please read the background of Charles Hackett. Yes, Mr. Edmond, will you please read background of Mr. Charles Hackett?
Linguistic anthropologist. In the 1960s, he defined a set of features that characterize human language and set it apart from animal communication. He called the characteristic as the design features of language.
Thank you, Mr. Edmond. How about William Levelt, who will read his background?
Ma'am. Ako na? Ma'am.
Yes, Miss Rose, please read.
Willem Johannes Maria Pimlevel, born May 17, 1938 in Amsterdam, is a Dutch psychologist, an influential researcher of human language, a question and speech production. Developed a comprehensive theory of cognitive process involved in the act of speaking, including the significance of the mental.
Thank you, Miss Rose. So we will now proceed to the area of study. Uh, Thank you, Miss Rose. So we will now proceed to the area of study. The cognitive science, psychology, linguistics, and speech and language pathology. So for the theories of psycholinguistics, there were acquisition, production, and comprehension. So for the acquisition, there is this first language and second language acquisition. For first language, the learning of a native or first language. While for the second language, it is the process by which people learn a second language or L2. So for the first language acquisition, it is known as developmental psycholinguistics. It is about how people speak and the mental process involved. So it is the nature versus nurture. So a question for this nature versus nurture is, are we taught to speak by our parents, or are we born with knowledge in our brains that help us to pick up language quickly? So nature is also, or we were influenced by genetic inheritance and other biological factors. For example, we were taught by our parents. So for nurture, we were influenced by external factors after conception. For example, the product of exposure, life experiences, and learning on an individual. So for the nature, Noam Chomsky believes that we have the pre-wired structure in our brains which help us to have advanced knowledge about language. So for nurture, Michael Tomasello believes that children acquire language first and foremost by understanding how others use language. So for first language, there were also two basic notions of first language acquisition. The overgeneralization, which is the extension of a rule beyond its proper limit. For example, those kids who are referring to a moon, which is all-round object. We will now continue our topic for today. So, in first language acquisition, there were two basic notions of first language acquisition. So, there is overgeneralization, which is the extension of a rule beyond its proper limit. For example, when a kid or a baby sees a moon, they refer to all-around objects. Or when they see all-around objects, they were only referring to a moon. For vehicles, they were only referring to cars, and dogs for all-legged animals. For other generalization, a child only uses a word in a more limited way than adults do. For example, shoes, which only refers to his mother's shoes, and hat refers to his own hat. So for second language acquisition, it is the developing and use of a language by children and adults who already know at least one other language. So there were also factors of second language acquisition. So there is individual factors, age, personality, motivation, experiences, and cognition. There is also the affective factors, which is the emotional factors which influence learning. So there is self-esteem, inhibition, risk-taking, ambiguity, anxiety, and empathy. So for the production, which is the second theories of psycholinguistics. So the production is of spoken and written language. It describes all stages between having a concept into linguistic form. So there is this speech production. It is how people produce language in his or her mind to convey their meanings that are comprehensible to others, either written or spoken form. So there were also sub-levels of speech production, the conceptualization, formulation, articulation, and self-monitoring. Lastly, for the last theory of psycholinguistics, which is comprehension. So it is an ability to understand the meaning or impotence something or knowledge acquired as a result. So there is this sound comprehension. Sound comprehension refers to strongly influenced by even the slightest of changes in discourse which the listener is attending to. So for the second, the word comprehension, for example, when a student lack of comprehension of difficult word, the student will likely need to look up its definition and usage in full or down-to-earth online dictionary. So when you are a slow learner or lack of comprehension abilities, you may likely use really the dictionary for you to understand the meaning of a word. So the third is sentence comprehension. It deals with ambiguity in spoken and written utterances. Like for example, lexical, structural, and semantic ambiguities. And lastly, the text comprehension, which is the largest unit of comprehension compared to the above mentioned comprehensions because people tend to comprehend or memorize the content but not the structure of the word or the sentence. So did you understand well our lesson for today, class?
Yes, ma'am.
So did you
Yes,
understand
ma'am.
our lesson for today? What?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a short 10-item quiz. So I want you to answer these questions and submit to me your answers in this meeting, okay? Or send it via messenger for me to assess your learning. Is it okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Our class will be dismissed. Thank you for listening.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, class.
Bye,
Bye,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you also.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Goodbye.
Po.
Bye, ma'am. Bye, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, Miss Baby Jane, for that wonderful presentation, wonderful lecture. Let us call on the third one is Miss Venice Ambrosio for her presentation. The floor is yours, Miss Venice.
And the topic is about English for specific purposes. There are five of it, but I chose the one, the academic purposes. So let's start the objectives. Student aims to answer the given grammar and vocabulary in limited time. Next, students aims to develop the academic listening, speaking, reading and writing skills, and the teacher will assess the student's knowledge in grammar and vocabulary, and lastly, to provide an opportunity to develop and practice these skills and develop the language skills required in TESOL and TOEFL. Okay, let's start with pretest. I will give you 3 minutes or it depends on how you can answer this. You can answer the matching vocabulary. Can you write it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. If you can't see, just ask me and I will read the questions. Are we done?
Yes, ma'am.
So, let's exchange papers, then let's answer it.
Yes, ma'am.
Exchange. Who wants to answer number 1? Yes, please.
Hiking, ma'am.
Can you read please the questions?
Making a long journey on foot. Hiking.
Okay, hiking. That's the correct answer. Next.
Meal.
Yes.
A kind of literary work written in short lines.
What is
Poem,
it?
ma'am.
Poem. Okay. Number 3. Who wants to answer? Okay.
A prior arrangement to meet. Appointment, ma'am.
Okay. Number 4.
No.
Yes.
A dangerous but exciting activity. Adventure.
Adventure. And 5. A kind. Okay. Number 5.
Find sport practice with a archery.
Archery. Okay. Number 6. Okay. Are you? Do you want to answer it? Do you want to answer it? Okay.
A type of board game played with dice and disc-shaped pieces. Backgammon.
Okay. Backgammon. Number 7. Oh, okay.
Extra additional supplementary.
Okay. Number 8.
A short visit. Trip, ma'am.
3. Number 9. At the back. The white, beautiful creature created by God.
Number 9.
Number 9. Please answer the number 9.
A type of sports practice used in rivers. A type of sport practice in rivers that flow fast. Rafting.
Rafting. Very good. Number 10. Last number. Who wants to answer? Okay.
Something you believe to be a good thing to do.
What is it?
Suggestion.
Suggestion.
Perfect. Uy, sana ako. Perfect.
Does any one of you got the perfect score?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. I will give you an applause for your vocabulary skills. Alright, next. This is the answers. Okay, for the listening skills, you have to listen the audio. Okay? And answer the following questions. Please listen carefully. Can you hear it?
Hear a man talking to a woman about hiring a car. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Pause the recording for 30 seconds.
Please look first the questions 1 to 5. Have you read it? Okay.
You will see that there is an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first. Hello, how can I help you?
Hi, I'm Colin Mackay, and you booked me some flights recently to Australia and some internal ones.
Oh, yes, Mr. Mackay. I remember you now, of course.
Well, I find I'm going to need car hire while I'm in Sydney after all. I think you said you could recommend a good value company.
Yes, that's right. Cost-wise cars. They're very good and don't charge lots of extras. They have 3 offices in the Sydney area, including one office right at the airport. The number of offices in Sydney is 3, so 3 has been written in the space. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5. Hello, how can I help you?
Hi, I'm Colin Mackay, and you booked me some flights recently to Australia and some internal ones.
Oh, yes, Mr. Mackay. I remember you now, of course.
Well, I find I'm going to need car hire while I'm in Sydney after all. I think you said you could recommend a good value company.
Yes, that's right. Cost-wise cars. They're very good and don't charge lots of extras. They have 3 offices in the Sydney area, including one office right at the airport.
So I'll just book it online?
Yes, you can book online, but you should have their phone number too, just in case.
Of course.
That's 1800-705-639. It's on the website, and you can get a discount if you quote your booking reference from us.
What's that?
I mean the one you got from me when we booked your flights. I have it here. 743-002.
Oh, thanks. I guess I've got it at home, but I'll write it down again in case. A discount is good. So, where exactly is the office? I'll be coming to the domestic terminal from Melbourne.
It's immediately outside the international terminal.
Okay. And another thing I want to check is, will they be open when I arrive, or is it just office hours?
Well, they open at 6:45 and close at 6:15 in the evening. Let's see. You're due to land at 6:10. By the time you've collected your bags and so on, which will take a little while, they won't be open. But if you arrange it in advance, they can wait for you. You do have to pay an extra $30 for that, though.
Okay. Well, I'm staying near the airport the first night, so I could go back in the morning and save a day's hire.
Yes, that'd be better. That'd save you about $50.
Do you know what kind of cars they have?
Quite a variety, I think. The best value should be under $60 a day with luck. That would be the Echo, I guess.
Sorry?
ECHO. Like when your voice bounces back? Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10.
Pause the recording for 30 seconds.
Okay, you have time to look for 6 to 10. Booking. Number 6, information needed when booking. Number 7, length of hire period. And 8, reduced cost by driving under kilometer per week. Then insurance does not cover. And last, after hours, put it in box near the office on the. Okay. Are we good? Okay.
Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
I suppose suppose I have to book online before I leave?
That's the best way. They won't deduct any charges until you finish with the car, but they do need your credit card number when you book, and of course they'll want to see your driving license when you collect. How long will you need it?
I'm in Sydney for 7 days. I'll only actually need to use it on 3 or 4 of those days, I hope, but I'll keep it for the whole week. I guess it's going to be a few $100s. Can you suggest anything I can do to keep the cost down?
Oh, you get quite a big discount if you do less than 1,000 kilometres in the week.
Oh, that's good. I don't suppose I will be driving that far, actually.
But, oh yes, the other thing I should mention is the insurance. It's included in the price.
Oh, that is good value then.
Yes, but what you must remember is that it doesn't cover anything except the car, so you must be careful not to leave anything at all in it when you park, because your luggage isn't insured, even if it's out of sight, locked in a boot.
Yeah, well, I think my travel policy will cover that, actually.
Good.
Okay, and can I return the car outside office hours? My flight home is very early in the morning. Can I put the keys through the door or something?
There's a secure box just outside the office on the pavement. You just drop the keys in there.
Oh, good.
And one other thing, you should remember to buy petrol before you leave it. If you don't drop the car back with full tank, you get charged to fill it. I recommend you go to a supermarket before you go out to the airport.
Thanks for the tip.
Not at all. Do call in again if there's anything else I can help with.
I will. Many thanks.
Okay. Is it difficult? Yes. The listening or while writing the how do you find it difficult?
It's too far, Mom. I can't read.
Oh, I'm so sorry for that. Okay. So I can understand the accent. This accent is with a mix of Australian accent and British accent. Yeah, but we Filipinos use American accent.
Yes.
Okay. For the second time around, please exchange again the paper. Okay, so number 1, the answer is 74322. Okay, number 2, international or international.
International.
Or you can put outside as long as the answer is there. Number 3, 6:45 a.m. and 6:15 p.m. Quarter means 7 quarter. It means 15 minutes before 7. A quarter that is.
So 7 is not considered as
Yes, because quarter is 15 minutes before 7.
7 minutes quarter.
Okay,
So
number 30, number 4, 30. Number 5, echo.
Echo.
Ay, sabi nga yung sa ano si echo.
Echo daw pa they
Ko na yan. I heard it wrong. Ay, di ba A? A naman yung sinabi.
A.
Baka may na-judge ka. A-C-H-O naman siya. Okay. Okay. Number 6, credit card. And number 7, 7 days, 1 week, or a week. Number 8, 1,000. 1,000 nakita dyan siya na 6,000. Okay, number 9, his or the luggage. Except the luggage. Yeah, it says here that except the car, it means they cover the car but not his luggage. Yeah.
Comprehension is being applied.
Okay, number 10, pavement. Do you know what is pavement?
Yes.
Who wants to explain it? What is
Basketball court maybe.
Pavement is a wide.
Door. Yeah.
It's an open
White area.
area.
Walking lane. Okay.
Door lang gamin na.
Oh, let's move to speaking skills.
1, 2, 3 out of 10.
Describe. Okay. Describe a book you have recently read. Are you reading books?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is the most genre that you have read? Romance. Yes, romance.
Romance and comedy.
How about the least genre?
Tragic.
Oh my God, tragic. Horror.
Because yes, horror.
Okay, so what kind of book it is, what it is about, what sort of people would enjoy it, and explain why you like it. Who wants to share about the book that have you recently read? You? Do you want it? Yes. Okay, please answer those questions. What kind of book it is?
Recently, I read a book about of Jonas entitled Baka Sakali, a romance story about regrets and reconciliation, but in the end, they rekindle. This is story my life of teenagers about that loves romance story. I like this story because it relates to all teenagers who seeks love.
Okay. So, who among you regrets love? Love, being love, who loves?
Definitely not me.
Oh my God. So, you are not yet experienced heartbreaks?
Experience, but love is not in the opposite sex, love in the family.
Oh, love in family. How about the opposite sex?
No, unhappily in the
You will like love the nice. Okay, next. Describe a person who encourage and help you achieve a goal. Do you have a goals?
Yes.
What kind of goals it is?
To have my bachelor degree.
Oh, that's good then. Okay, who this person is, what this person encouraged you to do, how this person helped you, and explain how this encouragement helped you. This, okay, you're excited to share your answer. Am I right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think the person who encouraged me is my family, specifically my mother, because she gave me always advice. She cheered me up when I'm down. She's always there to support me.
Okay, it's okay.
Despite all the circumstances I've encountered throughout achieving my goals, I always have this spirit of positivity and determination to attain my goals in life.
Wow, that's so spectacular definition. Okay, for the last, we have to answer the past test vocabulary matching type. Okay, 1, action pack. 2, loose change. 3, tear-jerking. 4, slap meal. And 5, charter flight. This action pack. Are we done?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you please write your name so that I can give you credit for my credit card? Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. So what is action pack?
Action.
What does it mean? A cheap regular flight. Okay. It's a genre. Flight. Oh. Action pack. It's a motion. Yeah. Full of action. Yes. Okay. Next. Loose change. Have you heard it?
Loose change.
Loose change.
Loose change. Money in the form of coins suitable for small expenditures.
Yeah. In vernacular, in our language, it's barya.
Yes.
Next, tear dirty. Another. Yes. Judging. Making you right. Slap mail. Please. Yeah. Yeah. Slap mail.
Make and
Hot meal. The L doesn't want to show up, so she's tired. Yeah. Number 5, charter flight.
achieve regular flight.
Regular. Okay. That's full action. Mali palang answer ko. Number 1.
Nag-singkot sa trip.
Okay. Thank you for cooperating with my.
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done. I will. I ask you to write your name for the credit. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
you, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss Ambrosio, for that wonderful and informative presentation. Let us call on Miss Jenaline Ganaban.
So, start na po tayo. Hello po. Good evening, everyone. Hello.
Hi, ma'am.
Pwede na po ba tayong mag-start?
Okay po. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am Grace?
Yes, madam.
Miss Julie?
Yes, madam.
Miss Jenny? Where are you? May nakita ba kayong red na dot?
Wala.
Yung screen nyo?
Wala po.
For recording, habe?
None.
Sure?
Yes.
Why? My goodness. Okay, start na po tayo. So, good evening, everyone. I'm your teacher, Jenaline. Today, I will be showing you my teaching demonstration. The subject that I'm going to teach is Applied Linguistics, and the topic that I will discuss for today is language and social class. So, anyone class, before we start, can I ask you a question? Anyone? Hello? Hello? Parang nagtago-tago na sila. Okay, so let's start na po. So, our topic is language and social class. So, language is the method of human communication, either spoken or written, consisting of the use of words in a structured and conventional way. So how about social class? Anyone class who want to answer? Hello? Okay. So, social class. Wait. Loko ang aking screen. Lumipat na po ba yung screen? Ba't pala, nag-stay pa lang sa akin? Pa-response po?
Hindi pa, ma'am. Hindi pa po naglilipat.
Oh my goodness. Anyone class who want to read the definition of social class? May I call Miss Yoli?
Yes, ma'am.
Please read the...
Can you repeat the question?
Please read the definition of social class.
Social class is a layer of a society that is characterized by a specific amount of wealth, prestige, and power. It is also defined as individuals or a group's standard of living, also life prospects.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Yoli Bulusan. So social class, so every society is divided into social classes where society vary. However, social class is the number of social classes and also in the distinct or the degree different among the different social classes. But every society does stratify our group of people according to wealth, prestige, and power. So there is the one of the aspects to social class that's important now. The social class, it also defines an individual's or a group's standard of living, also life prospects. So the idea or the concept is that the higher upper section of social class, the higher is the standard of living. And also, the higher his or her overall life prospects. So that is the social class. Next is language and social class. Can you read this, Miss Ma'am Grace? Can you please read the language and social class, Ma'am Grace?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you read the language and social class?
May I?
Can you read, ma'am?
No.
Please read the definition of language and social class, ma'am, please.
Wala akong copy.
Okay. May I read to you guys? So research shows that there is a close connection between social class and language use choices. So that means people has a specific social class actually develop a variation of their language that indicate that they belong to that social class. This is called sociolect. So, sociolect means a distinct variation of a language that is used by a members of a specific social class. So, sociolect used by people who want to project that they belong to specific social class. Next is, how do we identify someone's social class? Can you read, Ma'am, Miss Julie? Are you there? Hello? Hello? Okay. So, how do we identify someone's social class? So first is the clothing or accessories personal style. Um, as a human beings, we make very quick first impression of the people based on their clothing. First, we look at what are clothes they're wearing. Are they clothes neat and tightly clean, etc. So these are the strong indicator of social class. So next is the behavior or nonverbal communication. So we look how confidently does the person hold himself or herself, what's the person posture, like how does she walk. So these types of behaviors help us makes judgment social class as well. So next is language use. We listen how person speak, what type of pronunciation they have. So language use is really the indicator that we use to judge someone class, social class. So next is car or house neighborhood. We look other things such as what are the car they driving, what type of house they have. So where their house is located. So next is education. So we find what level of education they have. So next, okay, next is language use and social class concepts. Style means individual language use choices on scale of formal to informal based upon context or how we want to be perceived. So for formal and informal language. So formal language, it is perceived as being the standard, while informal language focus is on equality, not power. So style is closely related to social class and language use choices. There is an upper class and a lower class. So next is register. Register means communication shortcuts developed by a group of people who regularly communicate together to be as efficient as possible. So register, it depends upon the topic you discuss, who you're talking to, where you're talking, and why you're talking. So there are 5 main categories of register. First is the static register. It is a set of language use that never changes. So for example, the Lord's Prayer, constitutional documents, legal documents. So this static register is very formal style. So next is formal register. It is very formal, one-way communication. So for example, in speeches, lecturers, pronouncements. So the formal register is very helpful. Third is consultative register. It is used in groups of 2 or more people where one person, the knower, provides information or advice. So for example, guys, can you give me an example of consultative register? Anyone? Okay, no one. Okay, I will give you the example of consultative register. So, doctor to patient. Because 2 or more people, or where one person, the knower provides information or advice. So that's the example is a doctor to patient, a lawyer to client, because they provide information or advice. So consultative register, it is quite formal. So next is casual register, an informal style of communication used amongst people who are socially equal. So for example of this in inside jokes, ang vocabulary is unique to the group when communicate to each other, especially um, in your friends, your peers, like that. So next example is common specific phrases. So casual register, it is quite informal naman siya. So next is intimate register, an informal style of language use between people who are So intimate register, I will give you an example. Intonation. It is very close, such as family members, your spouses, your boyfriend, if you have, and etc. Okay. So next is pet phrases and nicknames. When your mama called your nicknames. Next is nonverbal communication. That's the example of intimate register. So this is the end of my topic. Thank you for listening, guys. Can you please unmute your microphone? Where is Ma'am Yoli?
Present, ma'am.
Ma'am Grace?
Present, ma'am.
Ma'am Miss Jenny, where are you? Um, Sir Dexter? Okay. Okay, guys, thank you for listening. Hey, wait, guys. Can you please bring out your notes? I will give you your assignments. Please take note this. Number one. What is social class? Number two. Can you give me at least 5? How do we identify someone's social class? So that's your assignment. See you next week. Okay. See you next week.
Bye, ma'am. See
Thank
you
you for
next week.
listening. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss Ganaban, for that wonderful presentation. And now, before we move on to the third part or third portion of the program, let us call on first Mr. Gilbal Mangantulao for his intermission number.
For the hottest R&B instrumentals, you gotta holler at Robin Wesley Production.
Ayoko na ng mestiza, ayoko ng chinita. Ang gusto ko naman ay morena, girl. Pag ikaw ang nakikita, napapangiti na sa iyong ganda na pang Miss Universe. Ayoko na ng mestiza, ayoko ng chinita. Ang gusto ko naman ay morena, girl. Pag ikaw ang nakikita, napapangiti na sa iyong ganda na pang Miss Universe. Ganda mong nakakaakit, baka pwedeng makala.
Okay? Thank you for the wonderful intermission number. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That wraps us with the first part of the program. I hope you all learned a lot from our talented presenters. And let's wait for the second part of the program for the remaining students who are going to deliver their demonstration teaching.